Right now, as we inch closer to the start of the school year, a local nonprofit is helping students by giving them a self-defense class. Also, school shopping is well underway. How tariffs may impact your shopping totals. And Madison's Vitans Golfland celebrates its 70th anniversary. We bring you to the sights and sounds of this milestone. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Right now, students are getting ready to go back to school. UW students return to class in roughly a month. A local nonprofit is helping students get ready for college with self-defense classes. Our Tanisha Shaw has more.
Madison's Sexual Violence Resource Center is helping college students get ready for the upcoming school year.
Be given if one of the people is drunk. You heard that? Right?
Natalie Demiorbis is a lead instructor for the center's self-defense class, Chimera.
Chimera is a program of empowerment self-defense that means that we want self-defense to fit into other people's lives and not have people change their lives to be safer.
Chimera is different because it teaches victims how to stick up for themselves in any situation.
Other self-defense classes tend to say, you know, here's what you do. Yeah. But situations are actually infinite. They can be totally different, and there might be, like, if you learn A, B, and C, there might be something that keeps you from doing A, and then you can't, and then you have nowhere to go, right? Whereas if you are freely pulling tools from your toolbox, you can be like, okay, that's not working, I'll try this other thing.
Even though this isn't what you would typically put on your back-to-school checklist, Demiorbis says these skills are essential.
We try to give people a toolbox of as many options as we can so that in a situation, they can make their own decisions about how they want to respond.
The RCC is hosting more self-defense classes in August. We have that information on our website right now. Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Out of respect for the privacy of the class, News 3 avoided showing the attendees' faces. All right, let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
Well, we're going to continue to sit underneath these hazy conditions. We've been pretty much underneath a revolving air quality alert here for the last couple of days. Almost from about Thursday onwards, we've been underneath an air quality alert. And I would not be surprised if the air quality alert is extended through maybe Tuesday afternoon. And then from there on out, I think we start to see some improvements. Right now, we're sitting underneath some pretty thick smoke marked by those reds up near La Crosse and Black River Falls to the oranges everywhere else. And that's making our air quality unhealthy for some to unhealthy for folks further to the east. Now, again, that air quality warning is through noon on Monday for all of southern Wisconsin. Because this smoke is slowly going to be pushing its way eastward, it could very well be extended through Tuesday afternoon. We'll track out that smoke in the full forecast. But once again, this evening is going to be another comfortable one. A few upper 40s can't be ruled out, as many of us sit in those low to mid 50s with low dew points. So for this time of year, again, if the smoke doesn't bother you, if you don't care about the smoke, I would encourage you to let in some air, give the AC a break at the very least, because we are going to need it as we go into the second half of next week. The summer-like heat and humidity return. We're tracking that out as well in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. A teen in Janesville is arrested after a stabbing Saturday evening. The Janesville Police Department were dispatched to 21 Dodge Street in response to an armed person with a knife. While officers were responding, dispatch advised there was a man who was stabbed. The suspect was reportedly still on the scene. Officers arrived at the scene and observed the suspect run south on River Street and took him into custody. An 18-year-old teen was arrested and faces charges of reckless injury and disorderly conduct while armed. The teen will be held at the Rock County Jail. The Young Republican Federation has chosen Milwaukee as its host city for the 2027 Young Republicans National Convention. The convention is expected to draw more than 1,200 Young Republicans to Milwaukee in August of 27. Kyle Schrader, chairman of the Wisconsin Young Republicans, said in a statement, once again, Wisconsin will be the national spotlight as young Republicans from across the country gather in Milwaukee to organize, energize, and help elect Republicans up and down the ballot. Children get new outfits ahead of the school year at Tenny Tots and Swap. At Tenny Park near downtown Madison, local parents brought whatever clothing they no longer needed and picked up the clothing that worked for them left by other parents. Organizers from the Tenny Lantham Neighborhood Association say it's about helping people help one another.
I think that everybody wants to save a little bit of money and help the earth and clean out their closets, and this kind of accomplishes all three things.
After everyone had the chance to take what they needed, clothes left behind were donated. Vitan's Golf Land celebrates 70 years on Madison's west side. With the celebrations came special pricing, with activities like mini golf and a round of golf on the course being just $7 to mark 70 years. Founded in 1955, Vitan's Golf Land has grown with the city of Madison for decades.
Started very, very small out in the middle of the country, and the city sort of grew up around us. You know, we love Madison, and you know, the neighborhood has been here for a long time. It has supported us. But yeah, it's ever changing. I mean, the Beltline looks so much different. I, of course, wasn't around 70 years ago, but we certainly have pictures of what the Beltline looked like. And, you know, it was definitely out in the middle of the country.
Organizers say today was a celebration of the community for its support in keeping the business thriving for so many years. Back to school shopping is in full swing just weeks before the first bell rings. But like many things in the Badger State, your shopping total may be impacted by tariffs. Savannah Wood has more.
Back to school shopping is in full swing weeks before the bell rings.
Get it before it's all picked over is the biggest thing, because you go too late, then everything's all picked over, and then, you know, then you're kind of like, nope, don't have it.
The National Retail Federation says consumers are shopping earlier than ever.
Biggest thing is, you know, grabbing it while it's on sale. Then it's not a big hit to your wallet.
4 in 5 shoppers planned around July sales, like Karen Ploutz, who we found at Meyer and Howard Wednesday. She is shopping for 4 this school year.
Now it's just folders, Kleenex, and just some miscellaneous stuff. So, and tennis shoes. Well, tennis shoes will wait till Monday when I get paid, because shoes are expensive.
Prices are definitely higher for everything, I think. I mean, some things stay the same. Pencils maybe are relatively, but yeah, even notebooks.
Josephine Mann says shopping for back to school costs more each year.
Tariffs make a difference, yeah, and then it does cost more because of that, because so many things are, I hate to say it, but made in China, and if they're having to put tariffs on that, and then the store puts, yeah, I think everybody's adding. It's rough.
Parents told me that as their students get older, they get more picky about their back to school wardrobe.
Especially because they care more. When they're littler, they don't care as much about the brand and name of shoes that they're wearing, as opposed to when teenagers are all about, must have the Adidas, you know, the real ones.
Because if they want like name brand or something, it's like, I'll maybe get them like one outfit, you know, that they like, and then kind of like budget shop for the rest of it.
While many are getting a head start, 84% still have supplies to cross off their shopping list.
Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your First One forecast. But first, Gaza health officials accuse Israeli forces of killing at least 300 people while they tried to reach food last week. Plus, President Trump is slamming Senate Democrats for stalling his nominees. More on the president's online outburst when we return.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he spoke to the head of the International Red Cross, asking the group to help provide food and medical aid to hostages held in Gaza. In Gaza, health officials accuse Israeli forces of killing at least 325 people while they tried to reach food last week. CBS's Deborah Pata reports tonight from East Jerusalem.
Every day, desperately hungry Palestinians gamble with death to get something to eat.
What's happening in this world? Where's the human rights? Where's the human rights?
Hunger has forced an impossible choice in Gaza: risk gunfire or starvation. They shoot constantly, said this teenager. This boy was standing next to us and he was killed. Hundreds have been killed near the US-funded Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid hubs controlled by the Israeli Defense Forces, which denies it fires on desperate crowds. But under global pressure, the IDF allowed more UN supplies in this past week and took us to an aid collection point just inside Gaza to prove they are not deliberately starving Palestinians. The IDF has brought us here to demonstrate that, as far as they're concerned, their responsibility for delivering aid stops right here. But look at what happens in this UN footage as it tries to deliver that food.
It's kids. It's children.
Shots landing right in front of desperately hungry Palestinians. In this World Food Programme video, one of their trucks is looted by people so crazed with hunger, they say, they'll do anything to get something to eat. The majority of Gaza's over 2 million people are displaced, living in tented camps. If the war continues any longer, Abir Soba said, I think I might kill myself. She simply cannot bear being unable to provide food for her children. Deborah Patter, CBS News, East Jerusalem.
Some doctors say you might want to reach for something other than the allergy drug diphenhydramine, which is sold under the brand name Benadryl. In a review published earlier this year, allergy experts from 2 universities say the medication is outdated and dangerous. They also say there are safer alternatives on the market, such as Claritin and Allegra. At the very minimum, the experts say the drug should be moved behind the pharmacy counter. The review notes that Benadryl and other drugs with the same active ingredient can cause sedation, cognitive impairment, and in some cases, dangerous cardiac effects. President Trump is slamming Senate Democrats for stalling his nominees, accusing lawmakers of holding up confirmations to demand billions in spending. CBS's Willie James Inman is traveling with the president and reports from Bridgewater, New Jersey.
President Trump is blasting Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer after the Senate failed to approve several of his nominations. In a post on Truth Social, the president wrote, Senator crying Chuck Schumer is demanding over $1 billion in order to approve a small number of our highly qualified nominees. On Saturday, the Senate did approve 10 of President Trump's nominees, including Jeanine Pirro, a former Fox News host who will now serve as the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. Leader Schumer says the president threw a wrench into foreign aid negotiations.
We were getting close on a whole lot of issues, and Donald Trump just pulled the rug out from under people.
New this week, tariff rates will go into effect on August 7th, affecting goods from over 60 U.S. trading partners. Some consumers are already seeing the impact.
I've seen 20-30% increase in groceries, buying pet food.
Trade Representative Jamison Greer says the new rates are final.
These tariff rates are pretty much set. There are trade ministers who want to talk more and see how they can work in a different way with the United States.
Separately, America's second largest trading partner, Canada, was hit with a tariff hike of 35% on some imports, up from 25%. Canada's trade minister says President Trump and Prime Minister Mark Carney could speak in the coming days.
We think there is an option of striking a deal that will bring down some of these tariffs.
Trade talks between the U.S. and Mexico have been extended for 3 months. Meanwhile, talks between the U.S. and China are set to wrap up on August 12th, but that date could change. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
Tonight and Monday and likely Monday night into Tuesday, it is still going to be hazy. High pressure continues to dominate our weather over much of the Midwest as well as New England. It is slowly moving eastward and slowly taking with it all of this haze. That will be the case as we go into about maybe Wednesday of next week. That's when we'll start to see probably more blue skies. We'll get one day between the haze and the humidity where we don't have either. And then starting Thursday onwards, we're likely going to be not only humid, but hotter back into those upper 80s to low 90s. So tomorrow, upper 70s to low 80s, pretty seasonal for this time of year. Our average high right around 81 degrees. We are now going to watch as every day our average daytime high and our overnight low cool down. We were at the warmest point in the year throughout July, so now we're going to be cooling down as we head into winter. So get out there and enjoy these warmer temperatures while they're still here. And as I mentioned, starting about Wednesday of next week, that is when we start to see better air quality return to parts of Wisconsin. It's still going to be unhealthy for some in terms of air quality on Tuesday. Thursday, as I mentioned, is when we really turn back on that heat and humidity. So Wednesday is going to be that perfect middle. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It is just going to be right. A little less smoke in the air and not as humid as where we are going to be on Thursday onwards. So this high pressure system is taking that smoke with it slowly but surely. Not before some more smoke moves in out of parts of the Mississippi River Valley, across from parts of Illinois as well as Indiana. We're not really tapping into that smoke that's raging from wildfires out near the Grand Canyon. We're instead dealing with more or less the smoke left over from that high pressure system as it pulled it all out of Canada. So if we take it in closer to home, throughout the overnight hours into Monday, yellows and oranges indicating that thicker smoke is still going to be overhead. As we go into Monday night into Tuesday, we start to see more blue on our future track wildfire smoke graphic here. This is indicating less hazy conditions. However, look at the time. It's 10 a.m. and there's still quite a lot of smoke off towards the Lake Michigan shoreline. So I wouldn't be surprised if, just to make sure everybody, especially further east, is still staying safe, that the National Weather Service, along with the Wisconsin DNR, keep that air quality alert through Tuesday afternoon. I don't think we will be underneath any more air quality alerts from Tuesday onwards, because that's when we are pretty much underneath these southerly winds, the humidity returns, the warmer temperatures return, and we start to see some rain chances because we have a little bit more moisture to play with. And because this high pressure system is moving on out of here, and it acts like a big weather shield, blocking up the jet stream, we can start to move a little bit more systems through the Midwest. So if you don't like the humidity, as I said, you got through about Wednesday, and then it's going to start to feel a bit sticky outside. Thursday onwards, those dew points will be into the 60s and 70s. So air quality tomorrow, we're looking at unhealthy for some, and temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Low 80s on Tuesday, mid 80s Wednesday, upper 80s to low 90s Thursday through that following Sunday.
Yeah, we just need this smoke to get on out of here so things can be somewhat normal.
As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if by Tuesday afternoon we are seeing more blue skies.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Coming up in sports, a recap of Packers family night. One star who stood out above the rest. When Jeff Grimes was hired as Wisconsin football's new offensive coordinator, his first move was to recruit one of the team's best receivers to exit the transfer portal and return to the Badgers. Tretch Kekahuna was tantalizing last season, torching defenders left and right, but he told News 3 Sports this week that he was on his way to commit to another school. But 10 hours before he signed on the dotted line, he got a call from Jeff Grimes, of all people, the Wisconsin Badgers' new OC.
I'm missing something here because I think we really want this guy on our team. And just talking with Vic and KG about it, we decided, yeah, we really want him on the team. And I brought him in and sat him down and talked with him for a while about his skill set and things that I've been able to do with players like him in the past.
Kind of find out he knows all my old uncles that he played against because he coached at BYU and they played Hawaii a lot of times. So he gets playmakers the ball, and like how he loved my film, he said I would get more touches and make more plays and be a more kind of contributor to the offense.
UW women's volleyball has been one of the best collegiate programs of any sport in the country in recent years, and Carter Booth has played a big part in that. The multi-time All-Big Ten blocker, Booth is entering her senior season and understands the landscape of college athletics is changing with the age of player empowerment, with both NIL and the transfer portal. However, she's just focused on keeping this program as one of the best in the country.
I think it would be naive to not explore the business side of things. I mean, with my team now, we are a family. Like, there is love for the game and there's love for each other involved. And I think now as we move into this new world and things develop, it is becoming a little bit more of a business, but the focus is always to win, to get better, to play for my team and the people around me. And, if I have to sort of put on different hats, I'm able to do that. But I think one thing that's for sure is I never allow the business side to bleed into what's most important.
The Packers hosted their annual family night Saturday, with both new and returning players standing out. And as Jason Wilde tells us, it was a great chance for two defensive stars to continue to bond ahead of the first preseason game next weekend.
There was no debate about who was the MVP of Saturday night's family night practice inside Lambeau Field. It was little-known Omar Brown, a safety who was on the practice squad last year, but most Packers fans weren't probably familiar with. But the MVS, the most valuable supporter, was first-team All-Pro safety Xavier McKinney, who walked by the group as Omar was doing his interview, chanting MVP, MVP, but more importantly said he has committed to making sure that they don't just have the best safety in the league in him, but the best safety room. And after he said that, I asked him, what kind of role do you have in there? Because you're too young to be the cool uncle, and at 25, you're barely old enough to be the cool older brother. Here's what he told me.
We all really the same age, but at the same time, with that, I have to understand, that I am the leader in that room. I have to have that, certain level of maturity about, how I go about my days and what they see me do in the film room, how they see me prepare and walkthroughs, practice. So I'm always making sure that I keep that in mind.
There's no doubt that Xavier McKinney is one of the Packers' best players, but he's also become one of their best leaders. In fact, after Omar Brown's 3 interceptions, he pulled Brown aside on the sideline and told him, hey, great job, enjoy the moment, but you still got a lot of work to do to make this roster and continue to be present and focused and keep grinding. And that's the kind of advice that a young player needs when he has a great moment that should be celebrated, but also has a lot of work to go before he makes the roster. That's it from Green Bay today. Don't forget to follow all of our coverage for free on channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter. That way you get all of our Packers coverage delivered directly to your inbox every day. Jason Wilde, channel3000.com in Green Bay.
Jason, thank you. That's it for sports. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. So, Blaze, the last few days, we've been spoiled with the temps. Wasn't too humid.
No.
How's that going to look like as we head into the work week?
Well, not the same as where we have been. It's going to be much hotter, and it is going to be more humid. So enjoy tomorrow. Again, tonight we may dip into those low 50s. Tomorrow it is going to be comfortable temperature-wise and humidity-wise, but we are still going to be dealing with that haze. So keep that in mind as we go overnight into Monday. And we're looking at the mid-80s and then upper 80s to low 90s with dew points in the 70s Thursday onwards.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you all for joining us. Seinfeld is up next, so we'll see you back here tomorrow.